Never stop reading the Bible.
All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today we're taking a rapid-fire journey through some serious ancient wisdom. Specifically, we are going to break down Proverbs chapters 28, 29, 30, and 31.
Have you ever wondered what actually separates a truly wise person from a wicked one? And more importantly, how do those deeply personal choices ripple out and shape an entire nation? That's exactly what we are going to unpack today.
We're going to go chapter by chapter, starting right off with chapter 28. Think of this as the room of mirrors. This chapter uses sharp contrast to show us two completely different paths you can take in life. On one hand, you've got the wicked, folks who oppress the poor and chase unjust wealth. The text guarantees they're headed for a really quick downfall. But on the flip side, the righteous, they keep the law, stay faithful, and generously share what they have. It's pretty simple. Relying on God and championing justice brings true salvation, while stepping on others is a guaranteed way to stumble. Moving right along, we scale things up a bit in chapter 29, stepping into what we can call the throne room.
Here we move from personal everyday choices up to national leadership. And there's this incredible line, when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. It makes total sense, right? A nation governed by righteousness, where laws are actually respected and bad actors are disciplined, experiences genuine, lasting peace. Justice really has to cascade down through the whole society. The ruler absolutely has to champion the marginalized. That's non-negotiable for stability. Then you've got the officials, who must act with complete honesty if they want a flourishing society. And what about everyday citizens like you and me? Well, our safety isn't found in grabbing power, it's rooted in humility and maintaining a healthy fear of God.
Now let's shift gears and dive into chapter 30. Welcome to the observer's room, where we hear the profound words of a guy named Agur.
Agur brings a deeply humbling perspective. He basically starts out by just admitting his own human frailty and foolishness. He hits the nail on the head, declaring that recognizing God's absolute, limitless power over everything is literally our only lifeline.
He lays out some massive warning signs for us, too. He points out these incredibly destructive traps that can easily derail any of us. Things like unchecked pride, relentless greed, disrespecting our parents, and the absolute devastation of adultery. But then he does something super fascinating. He starts categorizing the world in groups of 4 to teach us how to navigate life. He points out 4 completely despised behaviors and contrasts them with the innate wisdom of 4 very small but incredible animals. It's a literal masterclass in staying humble. Finally, we arrive at chapter 31, the Queen's Room. This contains some legendary, ultimate advice given by a mother to her son, King Lemuel.
She sets some really strict boundaries for him so he never, ever perverts justice or forgets the vulnerable. The king is specifically warned to avoid the utter distraction of lust, to completely abstain from drunkenness, and above all else, to use his power to champion the poor.
Then, the chapter shifts to this magnificent, famous description of a virtuous, noble wife. It says she is far more valuable than any riches. She manages her household with incredible diligence, actively goes out of her way to love the poor, and raises thriving children who bring immense honor to the whole family.
And that brings us to the core of the whole shebang, the overarching theme for the wise ruler, the noble wife, and honestly, every single piece of wisdom we've walked through today is simply that true excellence and true wisdom come entirely from fearing the Lord.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought to chew on. Which room of wisdom do you personally need to spend the most time in right now? And how are you going to take this ancient blueprint of justice, humility, and diligence and actually apply it to your life today? Thank you so much for joining me for this rapid-fire walkthrough. The Center Studio provided the material for today's explainer. See you next time.